Hello and welcome back to Bicyclelegs and another edition of Anniversary Albums. Today we're going to be looking at albums that are having a significant anniversary in the month of July 2022. Again, for those who might be new to this series, when I say a significant anniversary, I'm talking about one that ends in a 5 or a 0. So 50th, 45th, 25th, 30th, that sort of thing. I've picked 10 albums. Please let me know in the comments any that you think that I've missed. And we're going to start today with an album that is having its 50th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 5th of July 1972, and that is Waka, Jawaka by Frank Zappa. Wonderful album from his sort of instrumental jazz fusion period. You get the side-long epic Big Swifty on side 1, and then you get Your Mouth, It Might Just Be a One-Shot Deal, and the lengthy title track Waka Jawaka. I really love this album. I really particularly like this period of Zappa. It's one of my favorites. I'm a big fan of 60s and 70s Zappa. I'm not such a big fan of the 80s stuff. But I will do a top 10 Zappa album sometime fairly soon as a studio albums ranked. Obviously I can't rank his whole catalogue, A, because I don't own it, and B, because it's massive. So I will definitely do a top 10 Zappa album sometime soon though. The next album that we'll have a look at is also having its 50th anniversary. It was released just a day after the Waka Jawaka album, and that is, so it was released on the 6th of July 1972, and that is Trilogy by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. One of their very best albums, I think. I'm pretty sure it came third in my ranking, the album, my studio albums ranked of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and it was a really close run thing between it and Tarkus for my number 2. So ask me on a different day and it might be my number 2. The Endless Enigma suite is wonderful. From the Beginning is probably my favourite sort of Greg Lake solo-ish song. The Sheriff is fun, Hoedown. And then you get Trilogy, Living Sin, and Abaddon's Bolero on side 2, which is all killer stuff. A fabulous Emerson, Lake and Palmer album. The next album we're looking at is having its 45th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 7th of July 1977. It's an album that's relatively new to me, and that is Styxx, The Grand Illusion. Stixx is a band that I've always known about. I was a fan of Mr. Roboto back in the early 80s. I know a lot of Stixx fans don't like that song, but I loved it. But Stixx are a band I've only recently started really exploring and buying several of their albums. This one so far is my favourite. The title track is great, Fooling Yourself. Come Sail Away. I was kind of familiar with that from that silly South Park episode, but it's actually a really good song. Miss America is great. Man in the Wilderness, Castle Walls, and the grand finale. Really good stuff. The next album we're going to have a look at is having its 50th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 10th of July 1972. It is my favourite Chicago album, and that is Chicago 5. So many great songs on this album. I'm probably going to do a favourite albums of all time show about this fairly soon. So I won't go into great detail about it, but it had the big hit Saturday in the Park. That's a wonderful song, but by no means the best song on this album. I've always loved A Hit by Varese, All Is Well. You've got Dialogue Part 1 and 2, Now That You're Gone. And that's just side 1. Great album. Really love it. The next album we're going to have a look at is having its 55th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 14th of July 1967. That's the UK release date. And it is Bee Gees' First, which is their first international album, but actually their third album overall, because they had done 2 albums that were only released in Australia and New Zealand. Now, if you think of Stayin' Alive and those disco hits when you think of the Bee Gees, you're really missing out on some wonderful music from early in their career. Their early music is wonderful 60s pop with tinges of psychedelia. It definitely has that sort of Baroque pop feel to it. I love this music. I think it's really, really good. I mean, it has the big hit New York Mining Disaster 1941 on it. It's got some great songs. Every Christian Lion-Hearted Man Will Show You, Cucumber Castle, Turn of the Century, Red Chair Fade Away. To Love Somebody was another huge hit off this album. Yeah, it's just wonderful, sort of that 60s orchestrated Baroque pop kind of music. If you like that sort of thing, you know, really get into some of the early Bee Gees, and the Bee Gees First is a great place to start. The next album we're going to have a look at is having its 45th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 15th of July 1977, and that is Going for the One by Yes. The return of Rick Wakeman, the return of slightly shorter songs, although, I mean, there's still only 5 songs on this whole album, as opposed to 3 on the previous relayer. But the songs on this album, the wonderful quality, they're definitely getting away from that more really knotty experimental sound into a more friendly Yes sound. It still very much sounds like a Yes record, but I mean, all 5 of the songs on here are great. Growing for the One, the title track, is wonderful, a little tongue-in-cheek lyrically. Turn of the Century is beautiful. Parallels, fabulous Chris Squire song with wonderful pipe organ in it. Wondrous Stories is a beautiful song, and it was a great single. And then Awaken might be my favourite Yes song of all time. Just wonderful, epic Yes track. The next album we're going to have a look at is having its 40th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 16th of July 1982, and that is The Envoy by Warren Zevon. I love Warren Zevon. I will try to rank his albums at some stage, although that will be an incredibly difficult task for me because I think most of his albums are absolutely stellar. This one's really good. The title track, The Envoy, is great. The Overdraft is really, really good. Jesus Mentioned I always really liked. Ain't That Pretty at All. Charlie's Medicine, Looking for the Next Best Thing. Some wonderful Warren Zevon songs. He's a great storyteller. I love his lyrics, and musically he's great. His voice is one of a kind and really wonderful, I think. The next album we're going to have a look at is having its 50th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 21st of July 1972, and that is The Slider by T-Rex. Great album. Telegram Sam's on this one. What else have we got? Metal Guru, Baby Boomerang, Spaceball, Ricochet. Yeah, there's great songs on this album. Ballrooms of Mars. Just one of the absolute all-time classic albums of glam rock. If you don't own this album, you really should. This one and Electric Warrior are my 2 favourite T-Rex albums by quite a long way. I think they're where Mark Bolan and the band were just at their absolute peak. The next album we're going to have a look at is having its 35th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 21st of July 1987, so exactly 15 years after the T-Rex album, and that is Dream Evil by Dio. If memory serves me correctly, this is Martin Popov's favourite Dio album. Again, I've only really been delving into the Dio catalogue fairly recently, and I must say, I really enjoyed this one when I first got it. Night People, the title track Dream Evil, All Fools Sailed Away, Naked in the Rain, I Could Have Been a Dreamer. There's wonderful songs. This is one of his best, definitely. I haven't sort of become as familiar enough with his catalogue to say which one is my absolute favourite, but this one's definitely right up there. And the last album we're going to have a look at today is having its 45th anniversary in the month of July. It was released on the 22nd of July 1977, and it is the debut album by Elvis Costello, My Aim Is True. Came in different coloured covers. This one's actually a Portuguese pressing with the green cover. He gets off to a great start. It's a wonderful debut album, although my favourite Elvis Costello album is the second album. But yeah, this one's a really, really good one. I mean, Welcome to the Working Week, Miracle Man, Allison, beautiful song. The Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes, Less Than Zero, Pay It Back, I'm Not Angry. Funny thing is, he spends a lot of time sounding angry on this album. And yet there's a song on here called I'm Not Angry. But yeah, the second album is Next Year's Model, and that's my favourite Elvis Costello album. I couldn't think of it at first, what the title of it was. But yeah, so that's my 10 anniversary albums for the month of July 2022. Please let me know in the comments which albums of these are your favourites, which ones maybe you don't like so much. Let me know what albums you think I missed, because there were definitely albums that I had to leave off this list, because I always try to keep this list to 10. So let me know what your sort of favourite anniversary albums. Remembering I'm looking at significant anniversaries. I think you've gotten the gist throughout the video. Please like, share and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. If you're new to the channel, please go and have a look at some of my other videos. All my other videos are playlisted. So if you go, there's a playlist for my anniversary albums, playlist for my studio albums ranked shows, playlist for my favourite albums of all time, for my reviews, etc, etc. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm at bicyclelegs on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, I'm mostly posting the albums I happen to be listening to at the time, as well as talking about the channel. On Twitter, I talk about anything and everything, but I am definitely trying to give that more of a music focus. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.